G'day mate, Clinton Anderson here, and I'd like to welcome you back to our Titan series. Well, this is going to be part 2. Last time I showed you Titan was the first time that I had him on film and I introduced Titan to you. And now, a little bit of time's gone by, more than what I'd like. I was hoping to kind of film him every 45 days to 60 days, but just with my travel schedule and touring and everything else going on, it's been a little longer than that. It's actually November 17th of his 2-year-old year. So we started him June 1st, he got ridden on June 4th, we saddled him on June 1st. So he's had about just a little over 5.5 months of training now. Pretty consistent training as far as 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. And he's coming along really, really well. I'm very, very happy with Titan. He's doing great. Mental ability's good, physical ability's good, soundness is good. You know, he's the first horse that I ride every single day, and I kind of get excited to come out here and ride this horse. I think he has the potential to be a great one, and I don't say that lightly, but you know, it's early just yet, but I feel like he has the ability to be a great one. So, let me just show you where we're at with him. You know, I started doing flying lead changes on him since we last filmed him. I've started working on getting him to stop, you know, actually working on his slide and stop a little bit. Been working on his turnaround more. We've just been stepping him up, you know, more and more, a little bit every single month, okay? So let me just kind of run through a little bit of a training program with him here. So again, when I get on him, I'm just gonna flex him a little bit left and right, okay? After this session, I'm going to try my very best to get back to filming him every 60 days, or at least 90 at the latest, but 60 would be great because I want to show you the diary of his career and how he's coming along, okay? So he's nice and soft here, light, good boy. So every day I'm always going to start out with the same kind of suppling exercises, just walking him around, bending him around my inside leg. Every day I might do a little bit different suppling exercises, but it's still the first 10 minutes of every ride is just working on getting him soft and supple, moving those 5 body parts. That's the boy. So I like that I have to push Titan everywhere, okay? The thing I love about this horse is he's a lazy little turd, but at the same time, you kick on him and you say, hey, pull your finger out and get moving, you can light a fire under him very quickly. And I like that. He's the best of both worlds. I have to keep going, go, 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 because as soon as I quit riding, see how he stops? That's what's going to get him that big stop in the arena, is that when I go down there and say, whoa, and take my legs off, he's just going to melt into the ground, okay? So I like that he's real laid back and quiet and kind of on the lazy side. But at the same time, it doesn't take much to light a fire. Like if I was too aggressive with Titan, he would get very scared very quickly. So he's got a great combination there. There's horses out there that are really good sensitivity-wise, where they're very, very sensitive, okay? You barely have to ever kick on them to make them, you know, hustle off your leg or respect it. But they're so damn sensitive that they overreact to everything. And when you start running those horses and you start building speed and galloping them, those real hot, nervous ones kind of lose their marbles a little bit, okay? Then you've got the opposite. You've got those real lazy type horses that never want to go anywhere. They're real laid back, but you can never get them to care enough. You know, when you say, hey, I need you to turn a little faster, I need you to turn a little quicker, I need you to put a little more effort in, they're like, screw it, I'm too damn lazy to care. So those lazy ones, they don't care enough. Titan's a great combination of the two. He's lazy, but he damn well cares. If I say, hey, this is important to me, pull your finger out, he definitely steps up, and I like that a lot. So you'll notice that I just keep pitching him that slack back. I'll jog some circles when I get on him, pick up, soften his face to the inside a little bit. I just want to constantly keep putting that solid foundation on him. Titan has almost caught up to my other 2-year-olds in the program, but got started in January. The fact that Titan in 5.5 months is almost caught up to my other 2-year-olds that have had 6 more months of riding is phenomenal, okay? But the fact that I haven't tried to catch him up, but he's gone from, you know, grade 1 to 5, and half the time the other colts have gone grade 1 to 5 is phenomenal, okay? So I don't want to push him, I just want to develop him every day, a little bit better every day, a little bit better every day. I think Titan probably would be the best 2-year-old that I've ever ridden. He feels like he has the most talent, the most ability. I'm very, very excited about this horse.
Fundamentals has shown you the basics. Now it's time to put those principles into practice. Get out of the arena and get on the trail. Introducing Fundamentals in Action, On the Trail. This all-new supplement to the popular Fundamentals series will show you how to apply the method on the trail and in turn teach you everything you need to know to make the most of your trail riding experience. Plus tips and tricks that will make every trail ride a success and so much more. You get 10 instruction-packed DVDs and 2 hardcover books with over 400 pages of in-depth information, beautifully illustrated and packed with amazing photos that will inspire you to get out and have an adventure. That's over $800 worth of training for only $3.99. Act now. Get up, get out, and get on the trail.
Titan has almost caught up to my other 2-year-olds in the program, but got started in January. So with half the amount of riding, just because of his pure talent and trainability, he's already very, very close to catching up to all of the other 2-year-olds that have had 6 more months of riding. So that tells me a lot about his just natural ability and talent. Now, I haven't tried to catch him up, and if he's not ready to show at the big futurity in Oklahoma City this time next year, I won't show him. I'm not going to show this horse and ruin his career or scare him if he's not ready. So the fact that we didn't start him for 6 more months and we let him keep growing, that's not going to come back to bite him in the ass later on. That's a boy. Pick him up, move his shoulders around. So the first 10 minutes of every ride is just checking my 5 body parts, making sure that he's moving his shoulders, make sure he's moving his hips, and then I always turn him loose. See where he just carries his neck there? That's real natural for him right there. I don't make him travel like that. That's just easy for him to that's confirmation. He just flattens that old neck out. And he's really good in the face. Like a lot of the gunner horses can be, the gunner horses can be a little bit kind of heavy in the face and a little bit gummy. Not all of them, of course, but a lot of them are. They're not what I'd call great face horses. They're not like smart Chicolina bred horses. As a good rule of thumb, not always, of course, they're very, very light in the mouth. They're very good in the face, okay? There's different genetics of bloodlines and so forth that are good and bad in the face, okay? Titan is actually really good in the face. He's pretty naturally light there, which is good considering, he's bred to be a little bit on the dull side in the mouth. That's the boy. And I'll just jog him around, move his hip over here. See, like right there, he thinks about loping. He's got to wait till I give him the cue to lope. So just because I push his hip up does not mean he should take that lead departure. So some days I'll just get on him and literally just jog around like this, just moving him around, and I'll never actually lope him. I just spend 20 minutes just tinkering around with him, and that's good for their mind, especially those 2-year-olds, to just get on him and just kind of take all that pressure off them and just move their body parts around. So I've been changing leads now for about 3 weeks now, and he's doing pretty good overall. I usually change a couple of leads every day, and we'll do it again today. If I don't like the way he's changing, I might change 3 or 4 leads in the day, but if he does pretty good, usually just once each way, and just keep building on that. That's it. Good boy. I love this laid back kind of attitude. So typically he circles better to the left than what he does to the right. What do I mean by better? I like his head position more. I like the way he holds his shape in the circle. His cadence is better. All horses have one side that's better than the other, okay? So I typically work on my horse's bad side first, because that's the most energy the horse has got, is when you first get on him. So I'll work on his right circle first. Now, because he's deaf and he can't hear me cluck to him, I don't treat him any differently. Like a lot of people say, well, what are you doing differently? For the most part, I just don't really do anything different with him. And people say, well, how does he know when you want to lope? He just kind of figures it out. Maybe my body position changes a little bit, but he just kind of figures that out. I still kiss to him as the cue to pick up the lope. And at his age, he still trots into the lope some, and that's fine. They don't have to pick it up from a standstill right now. Circles are the foundation of a reining horse. If you look at a reining horse's pattern, most of the pattern is circles. Some sort of circle, circle into a stop, circle from one circle to another, etc., speed control. So I'll do a lot of circles and working on collection, softness, getting Titan to carry himself. So again, in this first 6 months, it's all about foundation, foundation, foundation. So the circles do not need to be underestimated. Getting him really soft in the chin, in the neck, in the withers, soft in the belly. When I press him with my leg, he'll collect himself. So I work on my circles every single day. So I'm going to push his hip up, make sure he's nice and soft in my hands. So I didn't like that lead departure just there, so let's try that again. He came up out of the bridle. That was better. So I'm real picky about how a horse steps into that lead departure. I want him to step into it bridled up and not throw their head up in the air or root their nose out. So I'm going to lope some right circles. Now see how he's kind of fiddling around today. He's not really engaged right now. So I'm just going to work on picking up that inside rein, using that inside leg, and getting him to look into that circle. I like these rope performance horse reins where they're nice and light, so when I pitch them away, I just like them hanging there, just like that there. Pick up again. See, he looked off to the left just then. So every time he looks out of that circle, I just pick up that inside rein. I might bump that inside leg on his rib and bend his rib a little bit. So when I first get on, I'm just gonna work on that inside rein, inside leg right here. I'll kind of use that spur right behind the girth and just kind of bend him right there from where his neck joins into his shoulder. You'll notice that I pick that hand up and over towards my opposite shoulder just a little bit. Kind of stands that shoulder up there a little bit. So all I'm checking right now is that he'll lope on a loose rein, he'll pick up, kick him a little bit, he's been a little lazy there, and he'll soften to the inside. It's not that I want him to have that much bend all the time, but I just want to make sure I can take that nose. There he kind of dropped out of lead, so I pushed that outside leg on his hip and just push it up. So circles are still a big part of our training program every day. Circles are like the flour to baking a cake. It's a very important ingredient. So because I've been coming through the middle a lot lately and counter-cantering him the opposite way, he's got that on his brain a little bit. You notice when he comes to the center of the circle, he tries to look left because he thinks I'm going to counter-canter to the left, okay? So now I'm going to use my outside leg a little bit and push his hip to the inside. Pick up. Use that left spur a little bit and push his hip to the inside. I want to make sure that when I use that leg, that hip comes to the inside if I use my outside leg, and he doesn't speed up, doesn't slow down. Press gently, there. So now I'm really working on this outside hip here a little bit, okay? Once I get the inside softened up the way I want, Then I'll just concentrate on that outside leg a little bit. Because that's a big part of getting a little stiff there, a little stiff. Keep holding it. He's stiff, wait. There he got soft, turn loose. So I've got a little bit of stiffness in this outside leg and his hip. So to get rid of this, I just got to keep chipping away at it. And once I get rid of a little bit more of that stiffness, where I can push his hip to the inside, there, like that, it's going to help his lead change quite a bit too. A little stiff here, I'm going to hold him. There he got soft, turn loose. So if he kind of pulls on the bit a little bit, I don't release any pressure from my hand or my leg until he gets soft. Remember, horses don't learn from pressure, they learn from the release of pressure. Push his hip up again. I might practice a few cigars on him. This is the exercise I use in getting him ready for a lead change. Push his shoulder off. And I'll do it with him all over the arena. Push him off. And then turn. So what I'm doing is I'm picking him up. Like right here, he's just being a little studdy. Come on, you little turd. I want to kind of bow up on my leg just a little smidgen. There we go, good boy. And then turn. Pick up, move that shoulder over. So now I'm going to go into a counter canter on this right lead. He's shaped to the left. I've got my left leg on more than my right. I have to use a little bit of right leg because he's kind of lazy and I have to keep pushing him forward. But notice that I didn't go through the middle and counter canter him that other direction because he's already anticipating changing arcs in the middle. So that's why I did it this way. Now I'm going to change leads up here. I'm going to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change leads. Wait till he gets soft. Wait, 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 wait. Let him drop down. So after I change leads, I want to keep loping them until they get soft in my hands. They're mentally kind of relaxed. And then I drop them down to a trot and I trot 3 circles. So after every change, I always drop them down, just let them relax like that. Good boy. And what that does, you know, horses know what you're going to do before you do it. So he'll start anticipating changing leads, relaxing, changing leads, relaxing. It's a nice problem when you change leads and then you have to kind of, you know, push them forward or kick them and say, come on, keep going. Where a lot of horses want to change leads and kind of half piss off on you, okay? I might change another lead on him here. So right now I'm doing most of my changes out of the counter canter. He's on the right lead, loping a left circle. It's a little bit uncomfortable for him to lope like this, so he would rather be on the left lead, so that's his desire. Okay, I'm going to come around, change legs. Okay, right there. He was just being lazy. Horses will fall into 2 categories when changing leads. They're either in that lazy category when you ask them to change, they're a little bit lazy, they want to drop to a trot, they don't really want to push up and collect themselves and change, or they're a little bit hot and nervous and when you put that leg on, they're like, they scoot out from underneath you and they want to run a little bit. Titan's obviously on the lazier side of it. So my lead changed from my right lead to my left lead. He dropped to a trot, he didn't collect himself very well. I stopped him, I spun him around to the outside, I woke him up, which basically kind of like get the RPMs up, and then he changed leads just fine after that, okay? Other horses that are more sensitive, you don't want to, you know, wake them up, of course, because they're already well awoken, okay? You just want to gently press with that leg to get that lead change. So your horse is either in that cold, lazy category or that hot category. You do have to make adjustments depending on what they're doing to you. So let's start that again. Push him off. That's the boy. And there he got the change. So the reason I kind of stopped him and spun him around to the outside, I spun him away from the lead change, not the direction his changing leads to, but just kind of woke him up, spurred on him a little bit and said, hey, buddy, boom, boom, come on. You can do better than that. Whoa. Atta boy. Good boy. Okay. So I just kind of let him get a little air there. So that last little lead change over there, he got a little lazy, kind of dropped to a trot. He, fumbled around. So I stopped him. I spun him away from the lead change, like instead of, he was going from a right lead to a left lead, I spun him around to the right, never spin him in the direction of the lead change, spin him the opposite way. And I kicked on him a little bit and kind of woke him up, kind of brightened him up. And then when I went and changed leads over here, he was pretty good, okay? So that's just kind of young green colts, but for 5.5 months of riding, I'm real happy with him there. So what I'll do now is just kind of let him air up a little bit for 5-10 minutes, and then I'll show you kind of what else I'll do with him. So now I've let him air up for a few minutes. Usually what I'll do now is just kind of walk him around a little bit and just work on that hip. I do a lot of just pushing that hip up at the walk, just getting them real comfortable with it. Otherwise, when you put that leg on, they'll instantly think lead departure. And just because you put that leg on does not mean lead departure. So I usually just let them kind of mosey around the arena here, put my leg on, because eventually I want to do this on a loose rein where I can, if I'm riding him one-handed, I'll put my hand down and I'll put my leg back like that and he'll push that hip up by himself. Right now he's real green, so I still kind of have to help him. But it's a little bit of just quiet time, just gently press right there. He's going to pick up on this pretty quickly. He does it relatively well. But by just walking him around like this and just pushing that hip up, it supples the hip, and it's like working on your lead changes at the standstill, at the walk. And 2, it just kind of gets him to where he doesn't try to do a lead departure every time you put that leg on. Righto, let's slope off to the left here. So I'm going to pick him up. Okay, and lope off. Now he stayed nice in the face just then. He didn't raise his head and neck up. He trotted into it. That's not a big deal for I'm going to get real picky about that, May of next year, okay? As long as he gets into it softly and he doesn't pick up his head and neck and pull on the bridle, I don't mind him taking a few trot steps, okay? That's not something it's really not something you even kind of work on. It's just something that naturally just gets better because you do like 10,000 lead departures, over the next year, okay? He's basically got another year before the big National Reign of Horse Futurity in Oklahoma City. Now, obviously, that'd be where I'd like to really do well with him, but I've got his whole career ahead of him. I want to show him in his 4- and 5-year-old year, 6-year-old year, show him at the World Show, the Quarter Horse World Show, the Paint Horse World Show. So I've got a long-term goal with this particular horse. So we just got to keep chipping away. It's like getting to Mount Everest. You don't do it overnight. You just take one step at a time. So you can just tell to the left, he's just a lot more settled to the left. I work on that inside rein again. Just picking up, making sure I can soften it, turn loose. Pick up, soften it, turn loose. I'm always driving him with my legs. Driving him, driving him, driving him, driving him, driving him. So as soon as I get the face softened up to the inside the way I want, then I can go ahead and start working on that, pushing his hip up to the inside. So I pick up here, put that right leg on. I felt that hip just move a little bit to the inside. It doesn't have to move way over there. I just need it to kind of just, there, just move off that leg. But if I'll do that without speeding up or without a lot of resistance, your lead change is kind of built in for you. I love that, how he just drops that old neck down there. There, get soft, turn loose. Now this way, you notice that he doesn't anticipate looking back the opposite way so much. So with him, I'll take him through the center and kind of canter him. But on that other lead, I don't do that. I won't do it anymore for a while because he's anticipating it. Right leg on. Change. Wait till you're soft. Now I drop him down. Trot 3 circles. So that change is real nice. And like I said, he's been changing for about 3 weeks now. Good boy. Fatty. And I just kind of let him walk around a little bit. So let's do a right to left lead change again. Because that was the one that was, you know, it wasn't great, it wasn't horrible, but I'd like to get a little bit better. So I'm just going to take my time. The secret to getting them changing leads real good is just don't be in a big hurry about it. Just take your time and build on it every single day. Get those body parts nice and soft and supple. You know, I go into a lot of detail on the leads and lead changes with the DVD on that topic. You know, it's called Leads and Lead Changes, and it goes for several hours. Okay. So as long as he's thinking about changing leads, I don't change leads, and I might fool him a little bit there and just come back to the right. Now I'm going to push him off again. Again, he was a little bit on the lazy side. Push, push, push. There we go. Drive, drive. Because he's a little lazier, I'm not going to drop him down so quick now. I'm actually going to speed him up a little bit. He's been a little pushy here, a little pushy. Wait, there, get soft. So what I did then is, it's a nice problem to have, mind you. He's being a little too lazy in that lead change. So now I'm going to change leads going from right to left. And I actually might speed him up a little bit, like change and say, okay, get up there, you know, move. Which typically you wouldn't do because a lot of horses change leads and kind of want to squirt out from underneath you a little bit or speed up. He's lazy, so he almost wants to get a little lazy and suck back. So for the next few days, I'm going to be aware to change him and then, come on, get up there. And then when I do break him down, it may not be for another, you know, 3/4 of a circle or a whole circle, because he's trying to break down too much. That's where his little lead change thing's going on right there. He's breaking down too much rather than thinking drive, 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 drive with his hindquarters. Good boy. But again, that's nothing I'm going to get too worried about. At 5.5 months of riding, the worst thing I could do right now is start working on, you are going to change leads and change 10 leads a day on him. Just tinker with it. That's the secret to changing leads. Just tinker with it. What are you looking at? Okay. Good boy. Let's give him a little bit of rest and let him get some air back. So we've let him get some air, and that's a real important part in training any horse, but especially these high-end performance horses that are very, very physical animals, is that when they get out of air, let them kind of have a rest, let them get their air back, sit on them for 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes if they're out of air enough, or it's a hot day, I might have to tie them up for 30, 40 minutes before they completely get their air back and get on them again and ride them, okay? So I have no problem with that, but you've got to let them get that air back, okay? So I've just started working on his stop to where, you know, he's gonna be a big stopper. I can already tell that. When I say whoa, he goes to the ground, okay? So I've started working on that, but in doing that, you've got to start working on the rundown as well, to where he'll run straight, he'll run relaxed, he'll run confidently. Now, he's not galloping very fast at all, okay? And nor should he be, you know, he's had 6 months of riding. But he's got to learn to build that speed over time. So over the next year, he'll get faster. The stop is nothing more than an extension of a rundown. If the rundown is really good, the stop has a pretty good chance of being good. But if the horse is running too fast or too slow, or the horse is weaving left or right and not straight, the stop has no chance of being successful. And maybe look at it like this. You know, if you're one of those downhill skiers, you know, where at the Olympics, they go down the big ramp, okay, and then they jump off that damn thing. I can't remember what that sport's called, but anyway, all those kamikaze bastards going down that big hill. If that guy's coming down that hill and he's wobbling on the skis and he's all over the place, when he jumps off that jump, it's gonna look bad, isn't it? He's gonna twist in the middle of the air, he's gonna crash. But when that damn guy's coming down that hill and he's straight as an arrow and he's well balanced and he's in good position, when he takes off that jump at the end, he's got a much better chance of a successful jump. But if the approach to that jump is bad, there's no way the jump's gonna be good either. So let's just kind of work on his stop a little bit and see kind of where we go from there, okay? So I won't stop him if he's not straight and running correctly. Oh. There we go. So, even though he's deaf, I say whoa anyway. Okay, I just say whoa and I just secure him with my hands, okay? And notice he kind of went to the ground pretty good just then, kind of stuck his ass in the ground and kind of attacked that ground. He's gonna be a big stopper. You know, horse trainers, we'd like to make everybody believe, but we teach these horses how to stop, like they don't know how to stop, and then all of a sudden, through our great training, they drag their ass across the ground. That's not true. They are genetically bred to do it. They've got to want to do it. All we do is show them how to do it correctly, and we just show them how to do it proficiently, to the best of their ability. You know, the innate ability is in them to want to stop. If they don't want to stop, like attack the ground, you can't make them. Now, any horse can stop, of course, you know, lope along, say whoa, pick up on the reins. But there's a difference between stopping them like that and stopping them where the horse just attacks the ground. Like you gallop that horse down the arena and say whoa, and it just buries its rear end in the ground and pedals up front and just attacks the ground. That's because he wants to do it and he's been trained well, okay? So he handled that good there. I just kind of backed him up, then I'll let him sit there. I might turn him around just a little bit here. Okay, I don't ever like to just walk straight off again once I stop him. I just turn him a little bit and then go straight and then, you know, walk off or lope off. So that was pretty good. Let's do the other lead. So I'm just trying to get a good foundation of when I say that word and pick up, stop. So right here, he's kind of a little bit, there we go. So he's not running here a little bit, he's kind of looking at the cameraman here. So I'm gonna go around the corner here. He didn't feel like he was running relaxed. See, like right there, he's been a little fresh and he wanted to build speed on me right there. So I'm just gonna stop him, turn him around, and then lope off again. So if the rundown's not good, so right there, he's building speed on me. It's a little bit kind of cool morning today, so he's a little bit fresh. So if he goes too fast, I just draw him into the ground. He's got to let me push him. 4. Make sure his hips stay straight. Now back him up. Get him soft. So what happened then is he stopped and he kind of pushed that hip off to my right. I pushed it back in place. Don't let them get in a bad habit of stopping and running their hip off a certain way or diving their shoulder off. Keep them, whatever straight line you come in on, they back up on that straight line. So I'm going to do that left lead again, just because he was a little bit on the peck when it comes to, building speed. He wanted to go a little bit too fast. Never hurts to break him to a trot, okay? Now right there, I sat him on his ass there. Again, he was being a little too forward. That's better, now he's waiting for me. So these are just little learning things he's got to go through. He says, okay, Clinton, I've got to build speed, correct? No, you got to build when I ask. Right there again, he was building before I asked. So if the rundown's not good, you don't work on the, don't worry about the stop. That's better. Little bit too fast there. Just gotta let me be the one driving him. Let me be the one driving him. Oh, good boy. Like he really kind of pushed hard there. I'm just going to gently back him up. Make sure he's straight. Like right then he kind of made that ground squeal. Like that when they push real hard, that ground will kind of squeal under their hind shoes. That's when you know they're pushing real hard. So when he tries hard, I just back him up, let him sit here for 30 seconds to a minute, let him get a little air, rub on him a little bit, okay? Let him know that there was a release of pressure right here. So see how he's leaning left here? I'll just turn him around right. Now I don't want to turn him around fast, I just want to move that front end around. Keeps that front end mobile in that stop. So I'm going to pick up the left lead. Again, went a little too fast. Just, when I say fast, just didn't wait for me enough. I want to teach him from a young age, especially those stud colts that get pretty, pretty cocky. You don't want him taking over too much. Oh. And my ground's a little wet today and it's a little sticky, so he's not going to go a long way, and he's only got 3/4 plates on him behind. He doesn't have inch plates on him yet. So I'm not worried about him sliding a long way. What I'm worried about is him sticking his ass in the ground when I ask him to stop. I'm worried about, does he rate me going down the rundown? Is he trying? Those kind of things. Good boy. In about another month, I'll change his shoes and I'll put an inch toe weight on him. So the front part of the shoe will be an inch wide, and then the back part, you know, the branches of the shoe will be 3/4. And then another month after that, or you know, a couple of months, I'll put a 1-inch plate on him. If he needs it, that is, you know, if it doesn't scare him too much. Too much shoe will scare a horse pretty quick. Gets too slippery for him. Whoa, good boy. Love that. Nope. Make sure he gets straight, like he was trying to push that hip off. Excellent. Good boy. That'd be a good place to just quit him there. You know, he stuck his butt in the ground. He's listening to that word, or at least me drawing on his face. And he's trying to get back at the end of that stop. Okay? Back up is king. The better they back up, the better they'll stop. You know, I work on a back up a lot to get it really soft in my hands. You can always tell how broke a horse is. Like, you'll see a horse in the show pen that looks pretty broke. Like, it'll stop big and turn around big and change leads. But if you really want to know how broke it is in the face, or really how broke it is, like, go watch them back it up. A back up will rat a horse out in a heartbeat. Horses that aren't broke will back up and they'll push their nose out and they'll kind of lift their neck up and, oh, they back up dragging their feet. A really, really broke horse backs like that, soft in your hands. Good cadence in his feet. And that doesn't happen by accident. You got to train them to do that. See, here's another way of saying it. The more naturally talented a horse is, the less broke they have to be to do some pretty cool things. The less naturally talented they are, or, you know, the more average ability the horse has, you better have the damn thing broke. You better have it soft, supple, and really broke to death, because you can't rely on the horse's natural talent. But when they're naturally just pure talent, you don't have to have them that broke and they'll still look fancy. Now, if you're smart, they'll be naturally talented and you get them really broke, and now nobody can touch you. At that point, you're pretty unbeatable, okay? But so you're aiming for that, but if they're not super talented, you've got to do a really good job of getting them really soft and supple. So now I'm just gonna sit here and flex him a little bit. Typically, I'll get off him. You know, actually, I'll just do it now. Typically, because the horses get tied up over here where I get on and off them, you know, get on them or lead them into the arena, I'll often walk over here to this side of the arena and get off him. Or if I rest him a lot, I'll usually rest him over this side of the arena and loosen up that girth, because that then works on that counterbalancing of their desire to get back to that wall over there. So I'll come over here, stop him, flex him a little bit, make sure he finishes off nice and soft and relaxed, quiet. You know, we're filming a whole new performance horse series right now that will be ready here soon. And that goes into a lot more detail of what we've been doing here. So I'll get off him and I'll loosen up that girth right here. And by loosening up that girth, it just, again, releases a little bit more pressure. Good boy. So he's a little better today than yesterday. I've got to work on his rundown a little bit more now, more than the stop. How you doing? Okay. I've got to work on the rundown, getting him to just run a little bit more quiet and relaxed, okay? You know, again, horses are like kids, they don't learn perfectly. So now that he wants to build a little speed, now I've got to back him up and say, okay, you've got to wait for me to tell you when to run, etc. So I'm going to work on that a little bit more. And then we'll just kind of keep building him. I hope you enjoyed it. Good boy, Ty. Proud of you. You're a good boy. You bad? Oh, good. Pretty bad. Good boy. But if the approach to that jump is bad, there's no way the jump's going to be good either. What's that fucking thing called anyway?
Ski jump. Ski jump.
Ski jump. It's called a ski jump. Yeah, what that son of a bitch? For all the redneck son of bitches out there like me, it's called a ski jump. Is that what it's called? Righto, good. Don't do it, it's dangerous. Righto, what else?